Imagine you are ordering a pizza online. The moment you click place order button, a request is sent to a server which processes your order and responds with an estimated delivery time. But have you ever wondered what happens behind the scenes? That's exactly what we are building today. A simple REST API for a pizza ordering system using Java and Spring Boot. Our API will allow users to place a pizza order, check its status, and cancel an order. If you watch the video carefully till the end, you will not only learn to write a working application on your own, but I will give you a self evaluation task which will further enhance your design and API writing skills. So, stick with me till the end. First, let's set up our project using Spring Initializer. Open a browser and go to start.spring.io. Select Maven as the build tool, Java as the language, and Spring Boot version. Provide a group, artifact, name, description, and package for the project. Packaging will be jar and select the Java version on your system. Next, add dependencies. Since we are building a REST API, there will be Spring Web. Also add Lombok for avoiding boilerplate code. Click Generate. This will download a zip. Extract the zip on any location on your system. Open Eclipse IDE or STS. Go to File, Import, Existing Maven projects under Maven, and select the location where you extracted the zip. Click Finish. The project will be imported. The REST API usually consists of three layers: a controller, which accepts requests and is the entry point for all incoming requests, a service, which contains the application logic, repository, or data layer for interacting with a database. Other than these, there are entities, model classes or DTOs, utility classes, and constants. Since we will not be using a database but an in memory data structure such as a map, there will be no repository layer. As a first step to creating our REST APIs, create an order class. This class will store order details like the order ID, customer's name, pizza type, and status. Define a constructor to initialize the fields. When the order arrives, its status will be in progress and order ID will be generated randomly. We will use Java's UUID class for this. We will accept customer name and pizza type as arguments since they will be supplied in the REST API while placing the order. Add Lombok's data annotation at the top of the class to automatically generate getters and setters to reduce boilerplate code. There is a video on setting up Lombox in Eclipse. Its link is given at the top and in the description. You can check it out. Now we will create a service class to handle order operations. Name it order service. Apply Spring service annotation to mark it as a service. Define a hash map to store order objects using their ID as the key. Create a place order method. This method will accept customer name and pizza type, create a new order, store it in a hash map, and return it. Next, define getOrder method, which retrieves an order by its ID. Simply get the order from the map using its ID. We will wrap the order object in an optional to handle cases where the order is not found. Change the return type of the method. Finally, define a cancel order method which removes an order from the map if it exists and returns true if the cancellation was successful. Now we will create the controller to expose our API endpoints. Create a new class and name it order controller. Add REST controller annotation over this class to mark it as a Spring controller. Use request mapping annotation over this class to set the base path. This means that this controller will accept all requests that start with this URL. Define an order service object since we need to call its methods here. Add an auto-add annotation so that Spring will inject an object into this field. Create a new method to expose placeOrder API for placing an order. Its return type will be an order object and it takes customer name and pizza type as request parameters. Since these parameters will be coming in the request, add a request param annotation before both of these and provide a name. This name will help Spring to bind the incoming request values with correct parameter. So, in this case, when you access a URL of type, this method will be automatically called and these variables will be populated with these values. Since this will be a post request, add a post mapping annotation over this method. You can customize the URL of this API by providing a value after this annotation. In this case, this method will be exposed at URL /orders / this value. Simply call placeOrder method of service with the request values of customer name and pizza type and return the new order details. Next, create a method to get order details using its ID. Again, the order ID will come in the request body. So, define a parameter and add a request param annotation before it along with the parameter name. Add a get mapping annotation over this method to make it an HTTP GET request. Call the service method and get the corresponding order. Now, we use responseEntity.off method to safely handle the optional value returned by getOrder method of service. If the order exists, it automatically wraps it in a 200 OK response. If the order is missing, it returns a 404 not found without throwing an exception. This keeps our API clean and error-free. Finally, create another method to cancel the order using an order ID. We can return a string message from this method, but for your learning, we will return a response entity object since it is the preferred way. This will be an HTTP delete method, so add a delete mapping annotation. Again, we will get order ID from request. We can get it from request parameter as in the above methods, but there is another way using path variable. Add a path variable annotation with the name before this parameter. Now, how will this value be populated? It is from the URL directly. Path variable mapping is defined in a URL variable enclosed between curly braces. Since we configure the URL in the method annotation, we need to define a variable between curly braces that matches with the path variable name. So, when you access a URL of type this, /orders is matched with this URL and this value is matched with this URL variable. And since we have defined a path variable with this name, the method parameter with this path variable is automatically populated. Remember that this string after the URL and this path variable should match for it to work. Call cancelOrder method of service class with order ID and check its status and return appropriate message if the cancellation was successful or not. Define a response entity and set the status message in its body and return it. We can return a string directly, but response entity is the recommended practice since you can customize the response code and headers as well. Our REST APIs are now complete. Start the application. It has started at port 8080. Now let's test our application. Open Postman. Create a new request. First, we will place an order. It will be a post request and its URL will be localhost:8080/orders, followed by request parameters for customer name and pizza type. First request parameter after the URL is provided with question mark and subsequent parameters with an AND symbol. Send the request. We get an order in response with order ID generated and status in progress. Let's check the second API, which is get order status. It will be a get request. Its URL is same, but request parameter is ID. Let's copy the order ID. Send. We get the order in response. Finally, let's test cancel order API. It will be a delete method. URL is same. The parameter is also order ID. Send. Oh, we get an error. It says method not allowed, which comes when the method does not match with the method defined in the API. We configured a delete mapping, so the method is correct. Let's go to our code and check. Okay, so we have defined a path variable for the order ID while we are sending it as request parameter. Let's change this to a path variable after the URL. Send. We get a cancellation success message. So, all our APIs are working correctly. Now, if you watch the video carefully, create a new API which will return all orders as a list. Paste your solution in the comments, and also if you face any problem, write it in the comments and I'll provide the solution. If you are successful at creating it, you can enhance that API by getting all orders with a particular status by taking that status in request parameter. That is all for this video. I hope you liked it and I'll see you in the next one.